Hello everyone! For this video I'm going to be discussing how I plan my week as a full-time student who's full-time traveling as we study abroad. So we're going to be doing my week and we're going to be doing Carson's week because they both look a little different, and I'm sitting outside on the patio right now as I film this, but I'll be doing most of it over voiceover because it's pretty noisy out here. So yeah, I hope you like the video. Alright, so the first thing I do is fill in my bullet journal as my weekly planner. So this is the Dingbats bullet journal. I got it for Christmas from Amazon and I really like it, so I'll link it down below. The first thing that I do, as you see me doing here, is fill in all of my different lecture times. So I just put them into their little daily slots in the weekly planner, and then I put in any readings and assignments that I have to do for that week. This just helps me keep things organized, and I know to do the readings before the lecture, and I have it all assigned to a different day. Then I go and I color code everything so it kind of matches what I have going on in my OneNote. Everything boxed in blue is a lecture time. Green is like a reading or assignment that I have to do to prep for that class. Yellow is personal, things like traveling or writing or reading. And then pink is things that I have to film. After that, I go in and I just fill in a few other tasks that I have. So these are things like other things I want to film, other things that I have to do in the weeks to come. So I usually do my planning on Sundays. Sometimes an idea will pop in my head, or I'll remember I have to do something, and I'll go and add that to next week's page or a few weeks in advance, as you see me doing here. I set myself some future due dates for drafts of my essays that I want to have done. The thing I like best about the bullet journals is that you can make the weekly spreads yourself. So I have mine set up to have 5 columns for the weekdays, 1 column for the weekend, as you see there, so it's 3 columns per page, and then a little notes box at the bottom where I can organize my thoughts for the week. So with that being said, I get to design my monthly spread. So there's my title page, a full page calendar, a page for my goals that I have yet to fill in, and then my weekly spreads. The next tool that I use is Google Calendar. So I went in and I made different calendars for each of my activities. I have one for each school course, one for general school, one for travel, one for work and personal. And I went in and I changed the colors of these based off of my color palette. So you can change the colors there. You can also pick a color of your own and input a hex code if you would like. You can also check and uncheck calendars so they won't appear in your big calendar if you don't want them to. To add a calendar, you just go to Other Calendars, click Create New Calendar, and input the name there, and then you can add the calendar and select the time zone. To create a new event, you just want to click on the calendar, add a title. You can change it to a task or an event, which changes the look of the event in your calendar. You can add the date and the time, and you can also create a repeating event like I did with my courses, and you can select an end on or end before date, which is what I did. You can also change the calendar that it's associated with. So I have mine set up to my business course. You can change it to associate course or to personal, and it changes the color that you set. And then you just click save and it'll add the calendar into your big calendar. Moving events is easy. You just click and drag and you can move the times around like I'm showing you now. To edit or delete an event, you just click on the event and select the trash can or the edit button. You can also change the view of the calendar. So I have mine set to weekly, but you can set it to monthly or yearly as well. I find with monthly, everything's pretty condensed and hard to read, so weekly is definitely my favorite to set it to. And then you have 3 other tools on the side there. You have Google Maps, Google Tasks, and Google Keep. I use Google Keep a lot in both the online and the app form. I just set up 4 little sticky notes there, one for study abroad checklist, one for work, personal, and school to-dos, and I just keep track of my assignments there and other things that I have to do. I really like using Google Calendar because I find the workspace easy to work with, and if you click on that little icon there, you have everything that you need. So I have YouTube, I have Gmail, I have my Google Drive, Google Sheets, Google Docs, everything is just right in this area, and I find it really simple and easy to use. The last tool that I use is Notion. So this is just a quick overview because I'll do a bigger in-depth version with Carson later. But I just set up my little dashboard here with all of my icons. I have the weather, I have assignments, and then I have my big database there. So I have 5 different categories: focus, growth, business, life, and university. And the travel category is the one that I use the most. So this is where I did all of our trip planning. I'll do a more in-depth look at this trip planning, but I just have little databases set up that keep track of things to do, our accommodation, and our transportation, as well as a little calendar. I also have 4 buttons at the bottom of my main page, one to Google Calendar, one to my Kent portal, one to my blog, and one to my LinkedIn profile. Making a page in Notion is simple. You just click New Page and you can make a page from a template or start one from scratch. I mostly use my Focus tab where I keep track of my daily organization, which are just tasks I like to do each day, as well as my daily logs, which are journals, and my thankfulness. So I track something I'm thankful for by the month. There are a lot of different uses for this tool. Like I said, I'll do a more in-depth run through later, but we really enjoy using this. Carson introduced me to it, and he's a real Notion whiz, so I'll definitely feature him in the video where we talk about Notion. Carson is going to show his Notion now.
We have the, this does a little hairball. If you drop it down, right? So we're only one course. Haven't filled that out. We got our marks. We got when it's due. This is just the database that organizes everything. But when you go down, whoa. We got all of my assignments right here, and you can click them. Not right click them. We have everything you need. And if you go up here, look at that. Here's the amount we have. Except I haven't got any marks back. But if you added like an 8%, and you added like 7, and it's 5, you'd have a percent out of 100. There you go.
I hope you liked that video. We're wearing different clothes because it's a different day. But Carson and I both have different organizational styles, so I hope that it was informative and useful, and you enjoyed seeing how each of us are managing our time while we're studying abroad and traveling. Alright, I'm glad you guys are liking the vlogs, and I will see you in the next vlog.